How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame, and we are back with another FPL video, and today we're going to be looking at a series that we often did during the international breaks and did somewhat frequently last season, which is the Players to Target series, where we look at 3 key players as to who we should be bringing into our teams, or at least keeping an eye on them for the upcoming set of fixtures between the international breaks. And it's typically in a 3 to 4 week window where we can say, yep, that player looks to potentially be quite good going into those fixtures. Now you see Ronaldo over my shoulder here. He hasn't got his price in FPL, but I would say he'd be one of the players to definitely target, especially for that Newcastle game if you don't already have Triple United. But we're not going to talk about him in this series. He's kind of obvious. We're going to go with some players that have been doing quite well, and some things may have changed to make it so that they are even better than what we thought they were come this point in the season. So as an example, like Livramento, a 4 million defender that's gone to Southampton. We thought, oh, he might just be someone who we can just, bring in our teams and he'll be bench fodder, but he's actually starting, so his value goes up, and that's kind of what has changed to make him an FPL asset. So that's kind of just an example. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. Drop us a follow over on Twitter so you can keep up to date with all the FPL transfer news and any posts that we do as well. 24 or less than 24 hours until that transfer window does close for the summer, so it'll be interesting to see what teams will be buying late into the window, as well as give us a follow over on Twitch so that you can see when we go live for our preview and deadline streams. We will be doing our preview and deadline streams next week, so a week today will be our preview stream, and the deadline stream will be an hour before the FPL deadline on Saturday, so there'll be a pinned comment down below to let you know about that. So without further ado, let's talk about with our partners for the FPL season with Fantasy Football Scout. So if you haven't heard about Fantasy Football Scout, they have a fantastic members area during the regular season. It's £25 for the membership, and that lasts the entire year. And during the off season, they give a 20% discount. But if you have missed that discount, fear not, you can still get the membership for £25, and it's fantastic. You can see the membership area just behind me. You have a bunch of different stats that you can use, powered by Opta stats, and create your own custom tables. You have the Rate My Team tool. You have the season ticker, player comparison tools, a whole array of things that you can use to help elevate your FPL game. So use the link down in the description below so that you can get access to these exclusive tools to help elevate your FPL game. Sign up now. Now, one player that was highly owned towards the beginning of the season due to Roberto Firmino coming back late from the Copa America was Diogo Jota, and he was expected to play the first couple of games, do quite well because the fixtures were quite nice. It was Norwich away and Burnley at home, and if he were to play the next 3 fixtures, Leeds away, Crystal Palace at home, Brentford away, I think he could do quite well. He scored 2 and 2 in the first 2 game weeks, and he's only played somewhat limited minutes. He came off just after 60 minutes in the first game, and I believe the second game it was something similar as well, and then he was a sub in the third game. But he did do 2 and 2 in the 2 fixtures we wanted him to do well in. If you had him, 3 big chances across the whole season, 2 of which have been goals, 2 chances created, so not much on the creativity part, as shown by the big chances created being 0, but does get a fair few shots inside the box and overperforming his XGI. Now, the reason, some managers, not me, but, some managers did go for Diogo Jota was because Firmino probably wasn't going to be fit for the first 2 games. That may arise again because Firmino came off at about 40 minutes or so when Jota came on when it was just before the penalty incident, and he did not look comfortable, and it wasn't tactical. It was apparently an injury. Now, what the concern of this injury is, there are rumors that the scans showed not good things, basically, and they're going to be doing additional scans to see what is potentially wrong, and I think it's his knee that could be the issue here. Now, a scan that's not showing up too nicely with a knee injury could be a bit of an issue. Now, these are unconfirmed. These are just rumors I've been seeing on Twitter and whatnot. But if these are to be the case, whether it be a knee injury or anything else, and he's out for, months at a time, basically, Diogo Jota could be quite good. I mean, Leeds away, Crystal Palace at home, Brentford away. Looking at it now without the Chelsea fixture there, he could be quite good in those fixtures for 7.5 million. I think he would almost be do I dare say it, essential, because we know he'd be starting game in, game out. And if it was the same for Mason Greenwood, it would be the exact same thing. He'd be straight into everyone's teams and be locked in there game in, game out. Now with Jota, he is quite frustrating. He doesn't necessarily create chances, as we mentioned, but he can be frustrating in front of goal. 3 big chances out of the 7 shots inside the box. He does get very good headers inside the box for someone who is a little bit smaller in stature, but it's his runs that he allows for these basically good opportunities from aerial positions. I also think that he benefits Salah a lot more because it seems like they link up a little bit better for whatever reason last season, and continuing on to this season, Mane and Salah just aren't on the same wavelength again. So we'll have to see kind of how this one pans out. But I'm keeping an eye personally on Jota. I'm looking to potentially get rid of Harvey Barnes, who I still have in my team, and then maybe another midfielder to make way to hopefully get Ronaldo, basically. And Jota is definitely on that shopping list if he is going to be playing game in, game out, especially for the next 3. I think the Man City fixture you probably just have to hold him for, because I'm looking to wildcard in game week 8 after the international break. And these 4 fixtures are basically up until the next international break, so that's kind of what we're looking at, where Liverpool's fixtures kind of go like good game, bad game, good game, bad game, good game, bad game, where it could be a bit on the iffy side. So we'll have to see how this one all shakes up. But I think Jota could definitely be fantastic. He's definitely a goal scorer. Klopp seems to like him. He can even do damage off the bench. But if Firmino's not fit, Jota goes straight into my team. Now, with that being said, let's also talk about another out-of-position midfielder who's been doing damage for the team who won the league last season in Man City. Now, Fernando Torres has done quite well in his most recent game versus Arsenal. 2 goals and an assist in that one, getting 19 points, doing just, fantastically well. 5.5% owned, is a midfielder playing basically as a number 9, false 9, whatever you want to call it, in Pep Guardiola's system. 3 big chances, 1 chance created, so he's doing a little bit of both, and he's got a fair few shots inside the box, and is about around his XGI if it was just for goals, but obviously he's gotten a combination of 3, so exceeding that as well. And in City's system, he plays very centrally, given the system. With Gabriel Jesus as well, it seems like he's going to be used more as a wide man, which could keep Mahrez out of the team, and more often on the bench, with Grealish playing in more of a left-sided role. That may see Sterling drop to the bench as well. Now, the real kind of question is whether or not Phil Foden displaces Torres' position, and I don't think that's going to be the case. I think what's going to happen in most games is when everyone's fully fit, so we're going to say De Bruyne, we're going to say we're going to say Phil Foden's fit. We're going to say John Stones is back on the team. I think Pep Guardiola's best team is Ederson in goal, Cancelo on one side, Walker on the other side for fullbacks, Stones and Diaz. You have one of the midfielders, whether it be Rodri or Fernandinho. You have Grealish as 1-8. You have De Bruyne as the other 8. You have Foden out on the left-hand side. You have Riyad Mahrez out on the right-hand side. And then you have Ferran Torres playing the false 9. I think, personally, for me, that is going to be City's go-to team. Now, whether Pep likes Gabriel Jesus, because him and Torres can often switch, because Torres is very good out on the right-hand side as well, played a lot there for Spain in the Euros as well. I can see that also being another good option, depending on what Pep wants to use his right-sided attacker as. But he's not going to move much from the central areas, and even if he is coming in at the back post, where Pep has more of the dribblers on the left-hand side with Grealish and the likes of Phil Foden on that side, whereas kind of De Bruyne, and if Jesus plays out there, going to be more of the creative sort of figures on that side as well. I can see Ferran Torres playing centrally a lot. 7 million was his original starting price. He went up last night to 7.1 million. I can see him being absolutely devastating at points during the season. Leicester away, probably not too terrible of a fixture in my opinion. Southampton at home could be good. Chelsea away and Liverpool away are always going to be tricky for any team. But I think Ferran Torres, for a cheaper midfielder, that's probably going to start game in, game out, because it doesn't look like City are going to get anyone up front for this window at least. Maybe they're going to look for Erling Haaland next summer on his release clause. That could be an option that they go for. But I think for the time being, Ferran Torres, Pep likes him quite a lot. I think he could be nailed maybe in the team, but definitely one to keep an eye on, definitely a player to target, and I'm definitely considering him over the international break. Again, if you're looking to get rid of, maybe you were thinking about getting rid of Harvey Barnes, or maybe Rafinha's not doing it for you. Maybe Buendia, you got your last good fixture out of him and he's the one that needs to go. Fernando Torres could be on your shopping list for midfielders. I mean, he's playing out of position for the team that won the league last season, so what's not to like about him? Now, with that being said, let's take a look at a forward that's been doing quite well, getting goals in every game that he's played thus far, and now he's on penalties. And the last player that I wanted to talk about was Dominic CalvertLewin, currently 16.2% owned. I thought he was actually a lot higher than that, which is a bit weird. But he has started to pick up some value on himself. 8.2 million from his original 8 million starting price tag. A lot of managers initially had him in their team, but then there was speculation: will he start? Won't he start? He had I think it's a toe injury. Now he's flagged in FPL currently, but he does have the international break, so I would say monitor it, wait for it, wait to hear from what Rafa Benitez has to say, if he's able to recover in time for the next coming game weeks. Because if you look at his fixtures, Burnley at home, fantastic fixture. Burnley defensively haven't been great and never are good away from home. Norwich at home in game week 6, I mean, that just screams goals to me. And then Aston Villa away, a team who hasn't been keeping clean sheets as much, and potentially Emi Martinez could, depending on the quarantine issues, miss that as well, because him and Buendia are both going to be going on international leave to play for, I think it's Argentina that they play for. And they will potentially, or they will miss game week 4, but depending on the quarantine rules, I'm not sure if they'll miss game week 5 too. So we'll have to see on that front. But again, Everton look great. They've been doing quite well at the start of the season. I think they're on 7 points as well. So they look very, very good. And Dominic CalvertLewin, 4 big chances, 3 of which were goals. 3 chances created, 11 shots inside the box. So he's averaging, around close to 4 shots inside the box. Again, that's exactly what you want from CalvertLewin. 3.23 XGI, so you can argue that he probably could have had a bit more as well. So he is doing quite well for himself, and I think for those 3 fixtures in game week 4, 5, and 6, he could be lethal. Now, a lot of managers are looking for the likes of Lukaku. Kane's coming to the equation now as well. Ronaldo is probably going to be a forward, so he's another forward that's in there with the likes of, Tony's just scored. Wilson's got 2 and 3. Jimenez could be an option as well after the international break with their good fixtures if he starts to pick it up. There's many different forwards that we can go for, and CalvertLewin's on that long list, and he's close to the top of it if I'm, being quite frank on that. And lastly, I think that the way Everton are playing under the likes of Rafa Benitez, it's very, very straightforward. Defend, compact, be solid when you don't have the ball, and when you do have the ball, break with pace, give it to Demarai Gray, give it to Townsend, give it to these sorts of players, Luca Digne, Seamus Coleman on the overlap, and cross the ball into the box. And who's better in the air than CalvertLewin? Probably Ronaldo, but CalvertLewin was one of the biggest threats in the air and is often in the central areas of the box, and also on set pieces as well. CalvertLewin is going to be a very tough customer to deal with as well. So I think for those 3 fixtures, game week 4 through 6, and even in game week 7 versus United, he scored last year at Old Trafford as well, and can cause problems at the back for United when he's on offensive set pieces, that is, and can do quite well. And the fact that he's not going to be with the England squad, he's dealing with whatever injury that he has, and he's going to rest up on that. That could be just a power play by Benitez to make sure that he's fully fit going into game week 4 onwards, and hopefully it's not something major. Then we could, go in and go heavy on CalvertLewin and look towards Everton. Maybe a Digne double up with him as well could be on the cards, and we could be seeing Digne assist, CalvertLewin goal. That would definitely be the dream. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Which players are you targeting over this international break, or keeping an eye on to see which ones you're going to be bringing in for your team in game week 4? And that is going to do it for our Players to Target series. If you do enjoy the series, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. Also, give us a follow over on Twitter so you can keep up to date with any transfer news or any FPL news or any of our posts that we do on any of our platforms, as well as give us a follow over on Twitch so that you can see when we go live for our preview and deadline streams. We'll be doing them again next week, so see the pinned comment down below for more details on that, as well as, use that link in the description below. The offer, I believe, has expired for Fantasy Football Scout, but it's still fine. £25 for the whole year. It's fantastic. You're able to use the Opta-driven stats tables. You can use the Rate My Team tool and a bunch of other different things to help elevate your FPL game. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, take care.